Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley gives him this humongous spine buster. It's like the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the match. Huge spine buster. You hear the crowd go, ooh. And then Dean Ambrose, Lashley go to the outside. Seth Rollins gets up just like nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened. Why? Oh, because I got to get my spot in. You know what? You call something different in a match. You don't, at that point, don't go by the script. Because the script makes no sense if you took a big-ass spine buster and 5 seconds later you're up already on your feet. So you could do a dive and then run back in the ring and do another dive. You just took wrestling, which I love, and told everybody, hey, this is fake. I'm doing my spot now. And I'm going to do my other spot. So, I don't say this very much. Screw Seth Rollins.
How about you, Al? Well, who would you have won?
Anybody but Seth Rollins.
Right. Alfred?
R-Truth.
Mr. Shakes? R-Truth. You were let's talk about that. Nia Jax comes out, takes out R-Truth.
And I am a fan of Nia Jax.
Okay. Do you have a problem with the intergender wrestling?
I don't. I love it.
Oh, I don't. But damn, this is me just giving out on everything, huh? But the problem is that WWE is trying to settle down, right? And they're having the whole intergender tag team matches. Right. Okay, cool. But if you're gonna try to be very PG, you kind of have to avoid that kind of stuff. You know, to having Nia Jax get in there and get beat up by guys. I don't mind it. I've wrestled women and I've enjoyed it. Not because, some sick fantasy of mine, but because I get to show a different side and I get to bump for girls. It's a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun to watch if the story is done right. I think this story was done right.
Right.
The only problem is you guys are still trying to be PG.
Right. I know a lot of people were blasting it. I know there were some people online on some websites saying, it's wrong violence on women. But you know what I was noticing today?
She's not like most girls.
Right, she's not like most girls. But you know what I noticed today? My son was playing Super Smash Bros. Mm-hmm. And you know how many girl characters there are in that game?
There are a few.
Right? Mm-hmm. You don't see them complaining when Mario's beating up Princess Peach. Mm-hmm. You don't see these people complaining when Luigi's beating up Princess Daisy or throwing her off the damn...
You're playing Mortal Kombat
right.
or Street Fighter or anything else.
So you don't see that. So I had no problem with the intergender. I like that Nia Jax was a monster in there. I like that the guys were afraid to touch her.
Yeah.
I think it was done right. I thought it was done perfect. I think and it still made her look strong because they took
Randy Orton,
everyone's finisher to pretty much get her out of the ring. And the fans loved it in attendance. I don't think they liked that Nia Jax was a surprise number 30, but I like that WWE changed the number 30 spot. They try to make it a surprise.
Yeah, I didn't like that she beat up R-Truth.
I don't think they should do it next year where the winners get the 30 spot, because I always think the number 30 should be a surprise in the Rumble. Mm-hmm. Brock Lesnar. Well, thank you. Dark Grapple B26 says there's only 6 female characters in the game.
That's still more than...
That's still a lot, you know.
Thank you, son.
Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar.
I hate the match.
Why?
I really, I don't like Brock Lesnar. I really don't. It really... I would spit on Brock Lesnar if I seen him. I'd probably get my ass kicked. But hey, you know what? I don't like him as a competitor in the ring. For the basic reason is that I feel, and this is my opinion alone, that not only is he a bully in real life, but he's a bully in the ring. Now he does have his favorites like Daniel Bryan. He'll really treat him well, and I don't really think he gave the respect that to Finn Balor that he deserved. It was a good run leading up to the Royal Rumble, and Brock Lesnar is one of those kind of guys, and it's been mentioned before, that if he doesn't like you, he just doesn't sell you. And I feel he didn't sell Finn Balor enough for it to be an amazing match.
So you liked his matches better with Bryan and AJ?
Oh yeah, and you know his matches with AJ was really good.
Yeah,
and his matches with Daniel Bryan.
That one
was awesome.
That one was incredible. Especially you have Daniel Bryan, who's a fresh heel.
Yeah.
Yet you start getting behind him, and it was fantastic.
yeah.
But to have another big guy versus small guy as Brock Lesnar's next match, unless you're gonna let Finn win, that's the only thing that disappointed me. That
Finn didn't win.
It's not like I'm such a huge Finn Balor fan. I'm a fan of Finn Balor's. It's the story that they're bringing up. So now you're kind of wasting Brock Lesnar a bit. You know, you're taking some of the shine off of him now. If these supposed small guys are getting so close to beating him, you know, then let him win it.
I thought that's when Vince McMahon came out and did the whole. By the way, he needs to read the Bible. The David and Goliath. I think he was mixing up. Vince McMahon mixed up the Bible with Super Mario Brothers. I thought that was the point. He was in that Finn Balor win. The other thing I had assumed, and I know I mentioned this privately to some people, I thought what would have been cool if Brock would have beat Finn, which he did, and Finn would have gone back to the locker room, put on the demon makeup, came out as number 30.
That would have...
And won the Royal Rumble.
That would have been amazing.
Then you could have even set up a possible triple threat between Finn, Seth, and Brock. Mm-hmm. And you could have had... Or you could have just done the Beast versus the Demon.
Uh-huh.
But it didn't happen. I wasn't happy with the result. I thought the match was okay. It wasn't as great for me as... I think just because, like you guys mentioned, he already wrestled AJ. He wrestled Bryan, which I thought was the best out of the three.
With respect.
He wrestled Finn, and it seemed the same. The little guy gets his offense in. Brock finally destroys him. Mm-hmm. Match over.
It's basically...
Then he beats him down at the end, which made no sense.
It seemed like he swatched him like a fly, and really, you're going to get a hold on me? Come on.
Yeah. We also had, we're going backwards, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Here's my problem with the match. By the way, we resurrected Daisy. This is probably Daisy's last appearance on the podcast.
Well, since you were there in Arizona, you were able to, after he tossed it in the trash bin.
I wasn't there on Tuesday.
People don't know that.
Sorry.
So this is the actual belt.
Yeah, that's the actual belt.
You waited for the show.
I waited for the show to end. I jumped in the dumpster, grabbed it, and
picked
brought
it out.
Home.
Yeah, there you go.
Daisy.
It still smells.
Daisy, I brought you.
It still smells like spoiled milk too.
Here's the problem I had with Daniel Bryan. They were going for an old school. I think they were told to tone it down because of the fact that Finn and Brock was next. Mm-hmm. They seemed like for those two guys that are probably two of the best wrestlers in the company, not to have a pay-per-view stealing match left me beyond words.
Yeah.
But I also think the placement on the card for that match was horrible because you just had the Women's Royal Rumble. They were between the Women's Royal Rumble and Finn versus Brock.
Mm-hmm. I think that was weird.
Sense. I think Eric Rowan showing up was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
confusing, but nice.
Nice. But I like it because Eric Rowan came out with the flannel shirt. If you watch Tuesday night and you look at his Titantron, I don't know if you got a chance to, the O has been replaced with the recycling bin, the recycling logo. I like where it's headed. It also gives Daniel Bryan that, if you watched again, SmackDown, when everybody comes out, by the way, Samoa Joe was the star of SmackDown with that
Actually,
promo
Samoa
that was
Joe's
on
funny.
fire. If you watch it, it was funny watching Daniel Bryan just fall out of the ring, sneaking back out and going to the top of the ramp.
Going back to this, I thought I smelled cow in here. Now I remember.
Yeah, it's our Daisy right here.
That damn cow Daisy.
Don't hate on Daisy. Look at her; she's beautiful.
Well, I'm putting Daisy back in the trash when we're done.
Anyways, that was probably for me, and I hate to say it, would be considered the worst match of the night for the Royal Rumble was AJ versus Daniel Bryan. I think the fans are so used to the high flying. They expected the high flying. They expected all these moves. They were not ready for an old school, because that's what it felt like to me, an old school mat wrestling match. And I think that kind of hurt the match.
To me, yeah, I agree with you. But then again, as a whole, for the show as a whole, it needed it.
Yeah.
You kind of needed it, because if everything's going to be a certain point of just high flying, then it's too much of it, you know?
Right.
So it did, because the Royal Rumble is not going to be hold to hold.
Yeah.
It's all just punch and kick, kick, wait for Kofi to do his little trick, which they kind of botched.
Yeah. Poor Kofi. He did 2 tricks, by the way, in that Royal Rumble.
Which one was
He did the one where his feet, where he was swirling his feet around, and then Xavier, I think, caught him on one. Yeah, that's the one that they almost botched, the Xavier one. But it was still pretty cool because he did 2 of them. I wish they would let Kofi win a Royal Rumble by now, by the way. God, can they just let somebody win that's a surprise?
There's a guy who started it all, Shelton Benjamin.
Yes.
Yeah.
They could have had both of them dueling it outside, like maybe both of them doing headstands and kind of like a lightsaber duel with their legs or something. But it's like you have Shelton Benjamin who started the whole thing.
Yeah. Now, before I get to the Women's Rumble, I'm going to go back to the very opening match, which was Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Mm-hmm. I honestly feel that was probably the match of the night. The result, I did not like. I did not like the fact that Becky tapped. I honestly thought they were going to do a Stone Cold Bret Hart moment. Not with the double turn.
With her passing out?
But her just passing out, refusing to tap out. And that's why she came back to win the Royal Rumble. I think it made her look weak by her tapping out.
But here's the thing, that how good Becky Lynch and how hot she is right now.
Right.
And
she is hot.
Yeah.
Because the crowd, she was the star of the Royal Rumble.
Well, here's the thing. It didn't hurt her. Raw comes out. People were still behind her. But SmackDown, people were still behind her.
But you have Ronda Rousey. If Asuka tapped you out, and Ronda Rousey's the submission specialist, I guess that's the story they're going to go, which is that's what they're going to go with. If Asuka tapped you out, you're definitely going to tap out to Ronda Rousey. I mean, is that what they're aiming for? I mean, you know what I mean? It just made. I knew Asuka had a win. I'm glad they made Asuka strong again.
Yeah.
Because she needed that clean win over Becky. I just didn't like that they tapped her out. I thought you could have gone with that story of she she gave up, or she didn't give up.
I
she
think
passed out.
I could have went either way. It was fine. I mean, in my personal opinion, it was fine the way it was.
Hector,
if you would have had Asuka lose, step down for Asuka.
Right.
The way it ended the match, it actually gave some more credibility for Asuka, and it kind of lowered Becky Lynch for that moment. But as the Rumble came in, and she came into the Rumble, you forgot that she even tapped out.
Yep,
you're right there. So the way it ended, it didn't hurt anybody. And it just added to the story. The only thing is, now, Asuka, who is she going to face? She's got nobody now. Because it looks like Charlotte is trying to get in the match there with Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey.
I think
we have a theory.
We have a theory that... Go ahead, Shakes.
You know what? I'm not going to even say.
Well,
I'm not going to say nothing. You know what I'm going
to do? He has the 4. And it makes sense. Can I give the theory?
Sure.
The theory is, and I wouldn't mind seeing it, why not let Becky wrestle Ronda, Charlotte wrestle Asuka, Bayley and Sasha win the tag titles that night, Charlotte beat Asuka, Becky beats Ronda, and you have all 4 of the horsewomen in the ring closing out WrestleMania.
That would, yes.
Instead
You
of
guys just
making
spoiled
a
it